more information on the Voice of San Joaquin, go to tvosj.org.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of KXVS The Voice of Stockton or its parents, affiliates, management, and staff.
Oh, good afternoon. This is Cliff Debaugh, founder of Ready4Rescue, and we are aiming to increase your awareness of what to do when you have a crisis in your home, so you know what to do when 911 before they arrive, and to increase your knowledge about the many services available to the community within the health arena. And today we have a very special guest. Her name is Eunice Green, the owner of Green's Nutrition. She is a doctor of natural health, author of Feed Your Body, Not the Cancer, and all-around longtime friend. And welcome today, Eunice.
Thanks, Cliff. I'm so happy to be here.
Now, we were just discussing about the difference between homeopathic medicine and natural health, which you are a doctor of.
Right.
Can you help people understand that difference?
Well, many people feel like natural health is homeopathy. They've heard that word and think that that's natural health, but it really isn't. Homeopathy is a totally separate line of therapies developed by Dr. Samuel Hahnemann. It's like curing like. It's very diluted forms of any ingredient, but my doctorate is in natural health, which encompasses everything. You know, it's mind, body, spirit. It's diet and nutrition, herbal therapies, supplemental therapy, essential oils, some homeopathy, flower essences, and then we go into other forms of mind and spirit type of therapies as well.
Which leads us into what the real reason for today is for vibroacoustic sound therapy. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay.
That's
okay.
right.
I was hoping. Okay. Who really needs it and benefits from the sound therapy? I know I had a session and I was rather taken back by it initially because I didn't know what to expect. Mm-hmm. And I laid on this bed that had sound coming through it, and then I had this big old pillow on top of me and pretended it was whoever I wanted to be. And it was interesting, and as the sound started, first of all, I had to relax myself because we're coming out of the day-to-day environment where we're so stressed or just so busy, and to get yourself centered for that as you start to receive that music was a bit of a challenge. And then it was like there was something internally working in my brain at the same time as the sound started filtering in. And then it was very interesting. I kept seeing faces for a while of all types. And then I went into a really deep sleep. And then the next thing I know, it was like you're tapping on the pillow going, hey, time's up, tape's done. What exactly, we'll talk yesterday since that's where we are. What did that do as far as relieving like what stress I had, any anxiety, any kind of lack of mental focus? What was that you put me through yesterday as far as a quote title of on the CD?
Well, one of the things that's interesting is to hear your reaction because everybody has a little bit different reaction. Mainly what we're doing is balancing some of your brain waves. The CDs, the music on the CDs are specially written for different situations. And when somebody comes in for a session, we usually will talk a little bit to kind of give us a feeling of which CD will benefit
and,
that
and we
person.
did that.
Right,
You
right.
know, I told you what I
And-
thought I would like, and then we talked a little more, and then you adjusted accordingly, and
Right.
it worked. I felt great after I
Yes.
left.
So it really is very helpful for anybody with stress, depression, anxiety, poor mental focus. One of the things that I really found with it is like I get a little bit better focus. I feel like my mind works a little bit better. And I've also noticed that my creativity and my imagination increases a lot. And I think this just comes from kind of the meditations and the combination of hearing and the vibration kind of gets unstucks you. That's not a word, but that's what it feels like to me. It's like it relieves some of that stuck energy because we are all vibration.
Well, stuck energy is what you feel during a massage, where they reach a point in your body, and it's like tougher for them to work through that muscle structure that they're
Right.
on. Is that basically what those sound waves are doing in a way?
In a way, yes. And what's interesting about the sound bed is that I think people have known about sound therapy for a long time. I mean, just most people know the difference that music makes, just
Right.
listening to music, how that can change your energy levels and your thought processes.
Right.
Having the sound bed where that same music through an amplifier, the vibration of the same megahertz is in the bed and that pillow you have on top of you. So you're kind of encased in this cocoon of vibration. So the addition of raising that megahertz through vibration as well as through sound really amps up the therapy.
And how long does that session last? Does it last a day, a week?
Oh,
Or
okay.
is that a readjustment of where you are, and it stays with you?
Well, it depends on everybody's a little bit different. I do find that it seems to always make a difference, and that could be for 12 to 24 hours. But we've also found that people who do repeat treatments, there's kind of a cumulative effect. It lasts a little longer the more sessions you have. The scientists who are really involved in this say for any major issue, 2 treatments a week is really a good way to go. I try to give myself 2 to 3 treatments a week.
I know, I was looking at the material that you gave me on natural resonance from the Natural Resonance Center, and it was kind of interesting. It was interesting in that it was saying about relaxation and stress reduction, and in their findings, it was like reduced people's anxiety and their fatigue by over 60%. Is that a normal? I mean, that's astounding, really.
It really is. This is why it is becoming a major therapy for PTSD.
I was going there, but okay.
Right. And in Colorado, the first responders are using this. And first responders have a very high suicide rate.
Yes, they do. It's actually
And the
the
last
highest.
year, they feel like they've saved 20 lives by using the sound bed.
Yeah, there's
Um,
presently bills in Congress that deal with their mental health.
Yeah.
One is from Ami Bera, and then there is another from out of Southern California to where it's House Bill 1679, where they're changing their status from being a plain dispatcher, the people that take the calls, to being first responders, because they're having severe mental health issues as well, because that sound from that incident is going right into their brain.
Right.
Versus the responders in the field are actually seeing that and experiencing it that way, but they do correlate together.
Right.
So is this an ongoing treatment they're looking at doing, or is this just a pilot program?
I think it's going to be an ongoing treatment, as far as I know.
Do you see that going national?
It'd be wonderful.
Hopefully. It would be
It
great.
would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful.
Now, you were saying yesterday that, as we chatted about this, that Kaiser was using it
In the Bay Area.
in the Bay Area.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, the Global Institute, which is kind of the center for sound and vibration therapy in San Francisco, Kaiser has a contract, their pain management has a contract with them that they can send people over for treatments on the bed, which is pretty cool, I think.
Yeah. Are they looking to do that over here? Do you know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's, there's not a,
Is
there's
that
not a
too
lot of
woo-woo
this.
for them, even though there's a lot of science behind
I
it.
don't know. I kind of feel like I'm an ambassador for this in this
Okay.
area. I mean, we were kind of the first to,
Right.
incorporate this into our healing center. And, I would love to see policemen, firemen, I'll give deals to anybody who is any type of emergency services. And also, I'll work a deal with any active military or veterans so that they have access to this at maybe a reduced price.
Is the VA looking at this at all as part of the PTSD
I don't think anybody's gone there yet.
How many years? Which brings my curiosity here. How many years has all of this research? Are we going back in like 1800s, early 1900s?
Sound therapy has been used forever.
Oh, that's true. Tibetan bowls, huh?
Tibetan
Yeah.
bowls, yes.
Yeah.
And, even in the Bible, make a joyful noise.
Yeah.
It's all part of sound therapy.
And they destroyed cities that way too.
Yes, that's true. It's a therapy on its own.
Much like 5G can do to us, as an aside here. In the pain management realm, I was reading that it's great for cancer. There's a 50% reduction on pain and symptoms of cancer. Is it cancer in general, or is it specific types?
Well, there's a lot of studies going on, clinical research and clinical studies. They're finding, and this is kind of going out on a limb, but they're finding even that vibration can have an effect. I'm not going to say kill, but can have an effect on cancer cells. And in fact, one of the CDs, one of the meditation CDs, is about cancer in particular. Now, and people do think that's really woo-woo,
Right.
except for the fact we're very familiar with the fact that the laser treatment for zapping kidney stones,
Yeah.
that's vibration.
Yes.
And, people who are a little reluctant is like, really? If you had a kidney stone, you wouldn't go get lithotripsy?
Yeah.
No. So it's very, very sound scientific.
No, little play on words there on your part.
Yes.
Yeah. I know that I watched a chiropractor use laser therapy on a patient to stretch the hamstrings and all in the back, and that worked well. So
Now that's more specifically laser.
it
and-
heats. Okay,
And
go
the
ahead.
thing is that lithotripsy for kidney stones is also laser, but there's sound vibration there as well.
Ah,
So it's kind of a combination of the two.
so same thing yet different.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I thought was one of the things I read was how this therapy is used for ADD and ADHD, which is be a huge benefit for adults that
Yeah.
we know have it. And what's worse is that with today's technology, that we are all actually kind of getting there. We can't. Our attention spans keep getting shorter and shorter just out of habit.
They got a habit, technology.
That's what I mean.
It's
Is
like
where,
there's just
phone
so
goes
many
off, I got to
things.
get that, and
Yes.
that's where your span is for 3 to 5 seconds, and seeing what it is, maybe longer if you got something to do, and then I got to come back to this other project I was actually supposed to be getting done.
Yeah, it's hard to stay focused.
Does this the vibrations align your brain waves in order to pay more attention?
I think so. Yes. In particular, your delta theta brain waves. I find that there's a real a balancing effect on all the brain waves, and it helps me to focus because I get really scattered. I get interrupted constantly. It might take me 3 hours to pay 2 bills because I'm interrupted so many times.
I don't think you're alone in that one. I think we're all in that boat.
And so, so for me, it kind of brings everything together.
I know that when I was reading about the benefits of this therapy on the ADHD, it was saying that it improves intelligence, learning, reading skills, concentration, and attention, which is all things that kids need in school.
Right.
Are you seeing any children brought in to help them?
Yes. We haven't had a lot of that, but I've had a couple of children. In fact, I haven't worked with a lot of young people other than a couple of teenagers who were suffering from a lot of stress and anxiety from being bullied. And there was a huge difference in the calming effect it had on them. So I love that.
So that helped them in school as well to handle things. Wow. And it was, as we go through the list here, there was Parkinson's?
Yes.
Less symptoms from Parkinson's?
Yes.
And you
and
were
that
telling
was-
me you had people that come in with
Right.
the Parkinson's.
We had one gentleman in particular, and I didn't even know whether this was going to help. So I first gave him a treatment before I even read anything about it. I was just curious. And it was amazing. The difference between him walking in and how he was able to handle himself walking out was huge. Absolutely huge. I mean, in fact, he forgot his cane when he left.
Oh, my goodness.
And so, I really encourage, especially beginning stages of something like Parkinson's. And then I did some research, and this is not unusual. And then they were also talking about people with the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. Now, is it going to stop that? I don't think so. But it might slow the progression. And that would be wonderful.
Well,
And it's possible it could stop.
If you're balancing your brain waves, your brain's going to function better and take care of itself better.
Right.
And if it's not connecting in one spot, as I know from personal experience with my concussion, as I healed, my thought patterns changed.
Sure.
And so that should follow suit, that if the one area is plugged, that it would switch over to another area if the brain
Right.
waves are balanced. Is that a correct assumption?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think we.
Mhm.
And you're wearing purple today, the Alzheimer's color. About fibromyalgia.
Well, we've had quite a few people with fibromyalgia have bed treatments. And they have found a true reduction in pain and their ability to sleep. Because many people with fibromyalgia, because of the pain, and that's that nerve zapping, really annoying pain, seems to be alleviated to a certain extent, and they sleep better. And of course, that's a vicious cycle. The less sleep you have, the more pain you're going to have.
Right.
So, being able to get some decent sleep can make a difference.
And that I didn't touch on it because I kind of figured it was going to come back around was sleep disorders, that it helps with that.
Yes.
Like insomnia.
Yes.
What other sleep? I'm not
Well-
familiar with that side. So what other sleep disorders are there?
Insomnia.
Oh, that's the
I mean, there
general
are
category.
there's people who have sleep apnea and things like
Oh,
that.
okay.
But mainly, people who have problems with insomnia notice a big difference. In fact, that's probably the biggest feedback we get is people who sometimes will walk out and say, well, that was nice. I don't know if it did any good, da 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 da. And the next day we get this phone call, oh, I slept so good. And that's one thing I use it for, because I'm a chronic insomniac. My brain doesn't shut off.
Oh,
So I notice when I do a treatment, I sleep better that night. It's right up there with getting a massage.
right up there, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And sometimes I do both.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You got to treat yourself well, because if you
Yes.
don't take care of you, nobody else is going to do it.
Right.
And if you take care of you, everyone else automatically benefits, which
That's
is what a lot of people forget.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
I can definitely plead guilty on that count, and I know others as well, and I'm sure people listening the same way. How about let's touch on your book,
Okay.
well, since part of our mission with Ready4Rescue is talking about nutrition and how important it is to have good nutrition so you can heal faster, and the family is not impacted as much on a long term financially.
Right.
They tend to cut back on their medical bills when all these expenses hit them all of a sudden, and so they cut back on their groceries so they have less nutrition.
Yeah.
And can you tie that in with your, feed the body and not the cancer, and
So
recovery in general, I think so.
I've always had kind of a great interest in cancer and treatments and doing traditional medical treatments versus doing natural things. And one of the things that people don't always understand is that what you put in your mouth has a big effect on what goes on in your body. And sometimes people are, when I say that, they're just totally surprised. Really? And one of the reasons I wrote the book was to give people just a little bit more information on what foods can be very healing, what foods are very harmful. Now, I want to do an addendum to that book because there's
Okay.
some things I'd like to change a little bit too. I mean, nothing's written in stone.
No, we all gain knowledge on what
Yes,
we do one
and,
project and we pick up other information and go,
Yeah.
I need to go back.
One of the things that I think is the most detrimental for anyone who is sugar
Yes.
and anything that turns to sugar. So I have become a pretty big proponent of keto
Oh, okay.
because I do feel like it makes a difference in so many different health challenges, not just cancer, but diabetes, high cholesterol. I mean, everybody thinks that fat is what causes high cholesterol. It's not
No.
true. It's sugar that causes high cholesterol.
I had a physician's assistant once go, think about it. When they do cultures, they put sugar in for it to grow.
Yeah,
So why are we eating so much sugar as a society?
right. And so I'm working on doing an addendum to the book or an addition to the book
Yeah.
that talks a little bit more about that and veers people that way. But as it is right now, it's still a good book.
Absolutely. Well, any information is
And then-
accurate and truthful and speaks to your diet and your heart. And I think that one thing people forget is that their gut, their stomach health, is the third brain.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes I call it the first one.
Well, it can be overriding of the other of the main one. I won't say it's the second one. Your brain is your second one. Your heart is your first.
Right.
And we have this skewed look at what really works for the body,
Right.
and so we're always discovering things. And when you feed your body, you're feeding all three of those brains in your body.
And You bring up an interesting point because so often when people have a health challenge and they think that that health challenge just has to do with that symptom,
No.
and they forget that, everything works together. And
Yes, the
so-
body's a system.
Right. And so, if you have a hormonal issue, there's probably some gland issues. If you have a gland issue, there's probably some hormonal issues as well. And so you can't just pinpoint one thing. You need to treat everything.
You have to look at what's connected to that.
And starting with
particular
that
part.
third brain, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Yeah. Can you address gut health as far as primary to body health?
Yeah. It runs everything.
Expand on that if you would.
And it's interesting because that's also something they're finding very important with children with ADD and autistic children. Gut health is huge. And so getting that balance in your gut is going to make a big difference in every area of your body. So I'm a big probiotic pusher,
Mm-hmm.
big time. And what's interesting is the medical community is now doing more and more research on probiotics.
Mm-hmm.
The microbiome is kind of the new
Right.
technology. And the major universities, medical universities, where they do a lot of research now, are studying that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas 10 years ago, if you mentioned a probiotic to an MD, often they just rolled their eyes
Yeah.
and thought you were a little weird. But in recent years, we're finding that get your gut in balance, a lot of issues will clear up.
That's so true. So I know if you're not feeling well, and really that's the center of your body in a way,
Mhm.
where your stomach's located,
Mm-hmm.
that if you're not feeling well there, it works all the way from your toes to the top of your head.
That's right. You can't think straight if your
No.
stomach's upset.
Yeah. And you got to find out what that cause is, and it may
Right.
just be something emotional, somebody you're around, something you ate.
Right.
You have to look at
And all
the-
those things are part of it.
Yeah. Amazing how all things are connected.
Mm-hmm.
I think that one thing I know that I've read, and I read a lot of different medical articles just at random here, is that when you have to be careful what pharmaceuticals you take because they're known for destroying your gut health,
Mm-hmm.
your microbiomes.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way that if you have to take a prescription that we can know for sure what's going to affect us? And
Mhm.
because if you look up side effects, it doesn't say that it's going to affect your digestive health.
What's really important, and it's in particular antibiotics, and
As a
that
general category,
yes, that's
Okay.
really what's going to destroy your gut health.
antibody.
Antibiotics. What's interesting is that the medical community now is encouraging people when they take antibiotics to take a probiotic. One little difficulty. The antibiotics will kill off most strains of bacteria.
Right.
And there's just really one that doesn't get killed off, and that's Saccharomyces boulardii. So it's always important to take that when you're taking antibiotics.
Okay, now your Latin that you just used, what's the common?
That's it. That's the name of it.
Oh, that's just the name of it.
That's
Okay,
the
it's not a
name of
common
it.
name.
No, there's no common name. And but it's becoming more of a common probiotic that people are seeing on shelves. But if you take one of the other multiple strains, it doesn't have Saccharomyces in it, the antibiotics are just going to kill it off anyway. And sometimes, people like if they have to take their antibiotic every 6 hours, in the middle they'll take a probiotic,
Mm-hmm.
and that may help for a while. But we really encourage everybody to do the Saccharomyces.
My goodness.
And what was kind of surprising about a year and a half ago, I had a very bad infection, ended up in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very impressed that they not only gave me a probiotic, they gave me the right kind. I made them go check what strain that was.
Sure.
And they came back and it's like, what's this sacro something? And I said, oh, okay. I got a smart doctor. Yeah, so.
Amazing.
Yeah. So it is becoming more and more common that, the medical community.
Within the medical
right,
community.
They're getting it, that this really works.
That we're finally getting what's been known for hundreds of years. The more
But
natural
even-
you can eat, the better quality food. Keeps
With
you healthy.
probiotics, I find very interesting is that 20 years ago, the only time you recommended a probiotic was if somebody was taking an antibiotic.
Hmm.
And there weren't very many of them available.
Yeah.
There was, just a few brands that you could get. Now we know that it's important to take them on a daily basis. Everybody should take a probiotic every day.
Every day.
Every day. I don't miss a day.
Wow. And, as part of the diet, from my own personal experiences, that I had way too many processed foods at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
And I got these, quote, allergies to additives and preservatives in food. I overtoxed my body.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was on the run all the time. I'd come home, the wife would fix what was handy.
Mm-hmm.
And one morning I just couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
I felt like I had 100-pound weights in both arms and legs. I had to be helped out of bed, and that's definitely not me. And I was lucky to have a good physician, and he got me to an allergist that afternoon. And everything I was eating, and I eat a lot, and the tests were pure food product, I was absolutely fine on. And he said, just fix everything fresh and you'll be fine. And that was in the mid-'80s.
Wow, that's impressive.
So I've been eating natural with that, and doing the right thing since the mid-'80s and didn't even know it.
Wow.
But I do
cool.
feel better most of the time, and I have a high energy level and all. So I was in tune with that without knowing. Yeah.
Hey, that's okay. We don't need to know as long as we do.
If it feels good for us, let's do it.
Yeah.
I think I remember that from the 70s. Oh, I'm dating myself. Oh my. I know that you're a dog lover.
Mm-hmm.
Can you address the effect of pets in the house and the effect it has on your whole psyche and
Why, sure. I think that one of the things that people in general crave more than anything is unconditional love.
uh-huh.
Receiving unconditional love can fix a myriad of problems. And what better to do that than a dog? I mean, they don't hold grudges,
Right.
or only for a couple seconds, and they're always happy to see you.
Yeah.
And so they're perfect for balancing that emotional part of us.
They seem to know when your mood is not correct,
Mm-hmm.
and they come over and do cute dog tricks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, for the health of the owner, what does that do for them? Is it
Well, it's going to relieve stress.
Okay.
It's going to relieve depression.
okay?
Just having that takes away a lot of negativity. When you're feeling the love,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to feel negative or cranky or which those things have an effect on us physically.
Mm-hmm.
So they're positive and uplifting, and they help your mood, and anything that goes on up here
Translates
fixes down there.
Yeah, yeah. And I know that the dogs can be a good therapy. Like they'll wake you up in the middle of the night sometimes, and it's actually beneficial to you. There's cases that way.
They save lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a common natural occurrence? You know,
I think so.
You're more on the natural side of things than.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They can sense, they have a different radar than we do.
Yeah.
And whereas, you could be sitting next to sleeping next to a husband or wife and them not noticing that there is some kind of as a dog will notice it and wake up that person.
Now, I know with another natural person here in town that what they've discovered is that pets will take on some of the illnesses of the owners.
Okay.
There's a reflection there of
Right.
the health of the owner into the dog.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you have something come up that,
Oh man, I
Yeah,
don't
but-
want my dog to get my
well,
sickness.
no, but
I see
this
that.
is what they're finding.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't discovered it on yourself, but you take your dog to the vet and your dog has an ailment, do you advise that maybe that's a correlation to me and I
Right.
should go check out my body?
Right. Right. I get that. That's really cool.
So you're okay with that one?
Oh
huh?
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds good to me. I have a dog that's on its last legs, and I don't want to get what he's got right now.
Oh no, no. But
But I get.
that's what
I
they're
get what you're
finding.
saying. Yeah.
So I don't know what to do with some of those findings that sometimes they sound really out there, when you get into natural health. And what is the best way, if you hear things you're not educated about and something comes up and you're like, nah, that just can't be, besides Googling it.
You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can Google it, but then you can't always trust everything you find on
No,
Google either.
you have to weigh that side.
A lot of times, unless I have a direct reason,
Mm-hmm.
I just let it go. We don't have to know everything.
No,
You
some
know,
of us
and-
are more curious than others.
Yeah, and I'm very curious, and I like to find out about things. And doing the research is important.
Mhm. Now,
But unless I'm going to do that therapy, I'm not going to invest too much time.
yeah. Did you put your dog on the keto diet?
No,
Okay. I was curious.
no.
But you
Although
had
he
great
eats
success
pretty-
on it.
Oh, yes. Hmm.
Can
Yeah.
you share your story on the keto diet?
Well,
If
I
you don't mi-
decided no, that's fine.
Okay.
I love talking about keto. I teach classes in doing
Oh.
keto because I think a lot of people have the wrong impression of what keto means. And so I kind of want them to do it the healthy way
Okay.
because a lot of people just think it's about eating a lot of bacon and eggs and lots of meat, and that's not it. So I did my research on that, and I read a
Mhm.
few good books. Dr. Mercola, in particular, is somebody I like to follow. And so I lost just shy of 50 pounds.
Oh, wow.
And now I'm going, and I have been just kind of maintaining for about 6 months.
Mhm.
Now I'm going full out again because I like how I feel. I really like how I feel when I have no sugar, or very little carbs.
Right.
And I'd like to lose another 20 pounds. But also, I am a diabetic.
You are?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my.
I haven't done any. I mean, all I've done is control it with diet and supplements.
Right.
But my A1C went down when I did keto. My cholesterol's perfect. My blood pressure is perfect. I have no ailments, and even when I do go to the doctor, they get really annoyed because they feel I should be on some kind of prescription. At your age, you should be on a prescription.
I know. I run into that too.
And so I was very pleased with the results. Also, most of my aches and pains went away because it's very anti-inflammatory.
Oh.
So, yeah, I love keto. And we have a huge keto section in the store.
that is specific to that.
Supplements you can take. We also have foods that are keto friendly. We even have some good breads that are keto friendly. Yeah, we give a lot of advice. In
Yeah.
fact, we've got keto ice cream coming in soon.
Oh, really? Now, is that dairy? Is it still dairy? Can you have dairy? I don't know anything about keto, so forgive me.
Okay, high fat dairy you can have. So
Oh.
milk is not good.
Okay.
Heavy whipping cream is good.
Really?
Yeah, I never suffered on keto.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and lots of good quality butter.
Oh,
In fact, the number one thing on keto is fats. You want
Really?
to get a lot of fats. And that's where people have trouble in the beginning because we have been brainwashed into thinking fat is bad. And a lot of fats are bad.
yeah.
But good quality, and I use a butter from Ireland, from really clean cows.
Yeah.
And coconut oil and avocados and your omega-3s. Those are your number one food group on keto.
Wow.
And number two is good quality vegetables.
And lots of water.
Lots of water.
Lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
Quality, good
And
water.
then a
Filtered
small
water.
amount of protein, animal protein.
Okay. I'm curious now, to say the least. And you have classes on that you
Right.
do at the store,
Mm-hmm.
so you actually, if you want to learn, you can learn this nutrition side of what you're really
Right.
putting into your body and how your body responds.
Right. Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You're a full-service natural health store.
We are.
Yeah. You had mentioned earlier about a program here locally in Stockton that's called the Showers
Showers of Blessings.
of Blessings. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha.
A couple of delightful
plug in
women
for them.
who have put together, they have big hearts, and they've put together this truck that they are now having showers installed in, and they are taking this to certain locations, both in Stockton and Lodi, and it is to give the opportunity for homeless people to shower.
Mm.
I think it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And I just really suggest you have them as guests.
That's
They're
a
really-
new program then for
that's
the
a
area.
really new program, yes. And
We
so,
could do that.
yeah, they need a lot of good support.
Well, unfortunately it's a common problem all over.
Right,
You know, Stockton's not alone.
right,
Lodi's not alone. Yeah, it's one of
Yeah.
those things we're all in this together.
right. We are, and I just think that's a great service.
What prompted them to do that? Just this huge humanitarian
Just-
effort.
Big hearts,
Uh,
big hearts. Yeah.
and
So you'd have to ask them a little more.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
specifics
yeah.
about why.
I get curious about the whys sometimes. Okay.
Absolutely.
What else can we cover? What would you like to
Well,
expound on?
I would like to get back to the sound bed for a minute.
Okay, sure.
And I'm offering a special. I wrote it down here so I don't
Okay.
forget. And that is, we're offering special pricing for anyone who is listening. So if you call into the store, make an appointment, and you say Sound Radio, we'll give you $10 off your initial session. And if you book a 5-session package, we'll also give an additional discount on that already special pricing. So, would love if you have any problems with pain, fibromyalgia, arthritis, anything like that, stress, depression, anxiety, even high blood pressure. We're finding that it can be very, very helpful in lowering blood pressure. We have a customer who's a truck driver who was having some difficulties passing his tests.
Stress, yeah.
And so he had a few treatments on the bed, and it really, he passed. Got to go keep driving.
The key thing is he has to continue the treatments though for his own health.
Right, right. And we combine it with some supplements too.
Mhm.
There's some very good things that we can take that will help maintain that as well.
That's, I tell you, it passes through my head, that treatment, because of all that went on before I actually went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And it keeps me curious as to what the next treatment would be.
And everyone's a little bit different. One of the things, and I don't know if we went through that before I put you on the bed, is like I usually tell people to take some deep breaths, but also think about what their intention is. What is their intention for this treatment? Is it to relieve stress? Is it to relieve pain? Is it to lower blood pressure? Is it just to help with focus? And kind of go into the meditation with your intention right out there. And that can make a big difference too.
You did tell me about the deep breaths, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as my intention, I wanted to really just experience it, see what I was going to feel from it. That was my whole intention.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still processing that part. as it goes, it's like, what did I feel about this? I was out, but what was I feeling?
Yeah.
So you
Well,
really
don't
have,
overthink it, Cliff. Just just let it go. Just be
just be
with it.
just be in the moment and
Right.
experience that.
Right.
Oh.
And a lot of times when I get on that bed, I just go out. I sleep. It's like having a 30, 45-minute nap.
Yes,
That's all I needed.
I certainly
But
had
I'm
that long of a nap.
I'm still getting the meditation, though. I'm still getting the effects of it. I just don't have to be totally aware of what's going on.
Consciously aware.
Consciously
You
aware.
can be unconsciously aware,
Right, right.
which is the whole idea of the
And I
meditation.
understand, we're both very analytical.
Right.
And sometimes that can be a detriment. So just let it go.
Oh my! I had something I was going to ask you, and it just slipped out of my head. Oh God! And I'm at a loss. It's just the way it is. We'll accept.
Yeah, just accept.
Now, what other services do you offer at your store? You have the nutrition counseling.
We do the nutritional counseling. We also have a massage therapist.
Right, Chris does that.
Right, and we have the herb vault, of course. We have herb formulas that I put together, and we're just putting together an e-commerce site so people can order those online.
Mm-hmm.
We also teach classes on herbs. Chris does a series usually in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
and we do classes on essential oils, the keto classes. We're really into education. It's
And
really important.
I know what I was going to ask. I remember in our conversation yesterday was that you're going to have a sound class.
We're having a sound workshop.
Workshop. Okay.
Right, on July 13th. We're hosting that. It's going to take place in the studio behind the store. And we'll have the crystal bowls, the Tibetan singing bowls. We have someone playing the gongs. So it's really nice. We'll do a full sound bath. And we're kind of gearing this one towards people coming with an intention of something negative in their life that they'd like to let go of, and using the sound to let go of that.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool. We had one in January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What is a sound bath?
So
Is this,
you've got people playing different sound instruments, like
Okay.
the crystal bowls, the Tibetan singing bowls, and you are just meditating. Or you can bring a yoga mat and lay on the floor, or you can sit in a chair, or you can sit on the floor, or whatever you want to do, and just let that sound bathe you.
so you're being in the moment is
Yeah, very much
what I'm
so.
gathering from this.
Very much so.
And they don't all play at the same time, do
Sometimes.
they? Or they,
Sometimes they play together.
yeah?
Yeah.
Do they play well together?
Yes,
Yeah.
very well. Yes.
Are they any of the people that are on the CDs?
No.
Oh,
No.
I could
No,
ask.
but they're very, very good. Linda Kohler plays the crystal bowls. Joy Hope does the Tibetan singing bowls. Oh, and Noriko does the gongs, but then we're also probably going to have a drumming circle, and Joy Hope leads that. And she brings lots of drums. Everybody can use some percussion, and that also is really good to help you let go of negativity.
Yeah. Sounds like you don't have enough room.
Oh, yeah. Well, lots of room. The last one we had over 35 people.
In the studio?
Yes, and it was phenomenal.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's with the instruments and all. That sounds like a close session.
Oh, it was just worked out fine. There
Yeah.
was plenty of room. Yeah.
Awesome.
We could have taken more.
Well, we'll just have to do that.
We'll work on that.
We'll work on it.
Yeah.
Okay. We're really close to being out of time,
Okay.
and I want to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for
I-
inviting me.
this
It was
is-
wonderful to sit
this
and
is-
chat with you.
Yeah.
We never get to sit and chat.
I know. And our guest today was Eunice Green from Green's Nutrition. We covered a lot. It's Vibra Acoustics, the keto diet, nutrition, pets.
You brought it all
Yeah,
in.
well,
Cliff.
it helps because I know you. You know, I've known you for a number of years, and you're an absolutely great friend. And I want to thank everybody today for listening from all of us at Ready for Rescue. And remember to reach out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or on our website, ready4rescue.com, and tell us your 911 story. Peace.